All right, on 37 it says that Tuxedo Shop sells classic tuxedos for $80 a piece, or rents them, and designer ones for $150 a piece. And then it says write an equation to show the revenue. So revenue just means the amount of money brought in. And so if you're selling or renting $80 per, and there's a C is the number of classic tuxedos you rent, plus $150 per D or designer tuxedo you rent, this would be the expression or the equation that represents those. And so what they're asking you is to figure out how many designer tuxedos. So you're going to solve for... So actually we need to solve this for D before we get our solution. So if we take this equation for revenue and solve for D, we're going to subtract 80C from both sides to isolate the expression with D, and then you can solve for D by dividing both sides by 150. And so this is going to be your equation for the number of designer tuxedos rented. And so it's asking you to assume that the revenue is going to be $60,000, so we're going to substitute $60,000 in here. And we want to see if the number of classic tuxedos is 600, and then again we're going to test 450. And then we're also going to test 300. Hey, what would be the total number of designer tuxedos that would need to be rented as well? So if we take our calculation, I'll put everything in the numerator in parentheses, so 60,000 minus 80, and I'm going to call it 80x because I'm going to substitute these other values in, and I'm going to divide that all by 150, and I'm going to use my with key. When x is equal to, I'll start with 600. So when I start with 600, I get the total number of designer tuxedos would have to be 80. And as I test each of the other possibilities, so 450 gives me 160 designer tuxedos. And when the classic tuxedos is 300, when I substitute that in, I get 240. And so these would be the answers for the remaining part of that question. All right. Other problems from 1.4? Okay, what about 1.5? Any questions on those?